Yo,
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
good, everybody? What's good? It's your boy Jordan Valenzuela. I'm joined by a special guest, homie of mine. You may have seen her on any social media platform or at your local events, kicking knowledge, spitting game, just putting in work all the time. None other than Jehzan. What's good, girl?
What's good? Mahalo for having me, man, and mahalo
No,
to everyone of your peeps for watching. Who's gonna
no.
watch this later?
Hey, pleasure is mine. I've been wanting to get you on for a second. Um, yeah, let's just get right into it. For the people who don't know, let them know
Okay.
what you do. You're a rapper, educator, producer, podcast.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah. In a nutshell, I'm a Hawaii born and raised LGBTQ Pinay artist, rapper, hip hop artist, educator, and aspiring entrepreneur.
That's right. That's just like the tip of the
Yeah.
iceberg with this person. Man. Let me tell you guys,
Yeah.
she's a talented individual. You know what I
Thank you,
admire the
thank you.
most about you that I always I know is recognized amongst not only like Hawaii hip hop, but like just people
Mm,
who know you in general is your work ethic.
mm.
Like it's undeniable. Like that's a word I've been
Yeah,
using a lot lately. Undeniable. And when it
yeah,
comes to
yeah,
you and your grind and like the content you always putting out, you either putting out a
yeah.
song, doing a tour, doing an event,
Mm,
putting out an
mm.
album, doing an interview. You're always doing something, and that's something I really.
Yeah.
Where does that
Thank
drive
you,
come from?
man. Thank you. Well, yeah. First of all, thanks, man. It's real crazy because I know you're like in your mid 20s now, right? And I believe I met you around the time you're maybe like midway through high school. I think maybe
Yeah,
16 or 17.
something like that. Yeah.
I know we did a couple tracks together even when I was a little bit younger. So shouts
Mhm.
out to you first of all for having me on. And I like that you're doing this now because I like that people are, you know, even though we have friends who might have done hip hop for a long time or whatever or a couple
Mhm.
years already, it's cool to see people take their talents in different ways and of
Right.
course all the different medias we have now. It's cool. So hey man, congrats on your new podcast and I'm very grateful to be part of it, yo.
I'm honored.
Yeah, and anyways, yeah, so back to your question. The drive really like for real kind dude, like it just comes from inside here. And
Mhm.
I actually I'm really interested. It's really interesting that you kind of brought all this up now, because I know you're a Christian man. You're a man of God.
Right.
And I wouldn't necessarily call myself a Christian,
Mhm.
but I definitely, no, I am a Christian, just in my own way.
Right. Right.
You know what I
You have a
mean?
you have a connection.
Um, right, 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 right. And I guess you could say I'm a God believer. I'm a
Hmm.
believer in God, and that is where it comes from, yo. Like we'll get into it probably throughout the rest of this conversation, but I went to a private school called Christian Academy from kindergarten to 8th grade. So
Okay.
I'm
Yeah, I
Hawaii
got
born and
cousins there.
raised. Yeah, yeah, but I went to Christian Academy, and I was kind of part of like just growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s in that school system. Although I experienced, what any other kid would experience as far as like with friends and whatever, you like
Yeah.
just kid stuff and social upbringing. But what they instilled in me is the faith,
Hmm.
the Christian faith, the belief in God, and deeper than believing in God, that I feel like even people nowadays don't really understand. But it's the faith in us. Like God gave us the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is in us. That's what drives me, man. That's what
Right.
drives you.
Right.
Because we can say like, oh, it's our parents, oh, it's our upbringing. Like, no, but we were literally gifted with the Holy Spirit, right?
Agreed.
So to me, that's how I feel. Like I feel like I'm in Bible study or something right now, but that's really my testimony to you, and
That's
I'm
awesome.
glad I get to share that with you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think like
Mhm.
I always say this, like religion to me, every time everybody asks me like, "Oh, you a Christian rapper or you religious with your
Mhm.
music?" Like, about like I
Mhm.
I'm a Christian and I love to make music. Like
Mhm.
regardless of, and
Mhm.
music is an expression. So like regardless of what I
Mhm.
decide to talk about on this particular song, it might be a love
Mhm.
song. It might be like about a trial I went through and how God pulled me out. I just I
Mhm.
always I always um minimize the term religion because that's man-made, I believe.
Mhm.
It's a
Mhm.
relationship
Mhm.
with God. You know what I'm saying? So I totally
Right. Right.
get where you're coming from. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm so glad that like you brought that up because yeah, like like our faith in God, like we believe that he put us on this earth to do this. Like this is what we're supposed to do. He gave us
Mm-hmm.
these talents for a reason to use them, and like in our faith in ourselves to like to go get it, to like start it and to like
Yes.
chase the dream and keep the work going. And
Yes.
so I totally agree with you, and
Yes.
that's awesome that you said that. I appreciate that for real.
Yeah, yeah, man. And through that, because I was blessed with the Holy Spirit and just that upbringing where it was strict as well, you know.
Yeah.
So I was heavy in the Bible, heavy in the books, and so that just turned me into like a super nerd. Like since I was a little kid, bro. Like even I'm pretty sure like friends will tell you like there were times I remember as young as like fourth grade, if I had like after school free play, but I still had homework, I would fucking do my homework. Well, everyone is choosing to play Foursquare and dodgeball and like
Yeah.
basketball and stuff. I played sports too, which is a whole other facet, right? Like
Mhm.
you're in the whole you're into jujitsu and training and
I play
stuff like
sports too.
that.
Play sports too.
Yeah, bet. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you understand too. And so that also like just all played a role and like the faith that having my mom again being blessed with the mom that I had and the father that I had too, like
Hmm.
just keeping that Christian faith around me, nothing could block me, right? You know, like when you have the armor,
Right.
spirit of God and all that, the armor, like nothing can block you. Like kids been
You're
teasing me
bulletproof up
about
here.
any kind. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Kids been teasing me about any kind of stuff being book, being this and that, like
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. Like, man, I don't even care, dude.
Yep. Yeah. That's funny that you said that.
Yeah.
Like, I just posted something on my story like hours ago. It was like, in order to insult me, I must first
Hmm.
value your opinion. And I feel like
Yeah.
I've heard that before, and I heard it, but I read it for the first time today. I was like, man, that's so true. Like this right here is bulletproof. Dog. Like
Hmm.
I have conviction in myself and my faith and who I it's because I know who I am. Like I'm secure in my
Hmm.
identity, and because of that,
Hmm.
I don't have, if it's not beneficial towards my future and my goals, I don't need it. I'm good.
For sure.
People,
For sure.
people gonna like let whoever think whatever, just like cliche, but
Yeah.
do you, and then
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
you fill out what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And
I
I
mean,
see
I
that
know
in
we're
your
going yeah, I know we're going off on like this little trail of like being a Christian and all that, but it's really cool to share that with you because like, you know, like even my mom, like she goes through certain things in her career where and any other person, like anyone goes through ups and downs, trials and tribulations, everyone has different feelings and all this kind of
Mhm.
stuff. But I tell her like when she starts to feel a way about work or about our family or our community, or even when I feel this way, it's like Jesus literally healed and fed millions and millions or maybe at least thousands and thousands of people,
Yeah.
and he had a following that we still follow to this day. And this
Absolutely.
guy, who was the Son of God, got crucified on the cross, bro. So you
Hmm.
don't think we're gonna be persecuted?
Yeah.
You don't think we're gonna feel away? So
Yep.
seriously, like we can't be tripping over comments out here, people. You
No.
know?
No. First of all, don't read them.
Yeah, yeah, or
Secondly,
just
it's good for you. All publicity is good publicity.
yeah, for sure. Hey, 6ix9ine shit. No, just kidding.
Yeah. Hey, let me not to switch gears randomly on you, just
Yeah,
to
yeah. No, let's do it. Let's
just
do
to
it.
just
Yeah.
to take it all the way back. Where like
Oh
how
shoot.
did you
Sorry.
discover that you can rap, and when did you start making your own music, and how did that come about? Like, were you always a writer, or you were always into hip hop growing up, or how did that all start?
Yeah, yeah. For me, like this is a question I get asked a lot, and generally I say like, being Filipino, growing up in the 90s and 2000s, like a lot of my older cousins, it wasn't like it's not uncommon for like a group of your cousins to like dance. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
and then at
yeah.
weddings or like people's birthday parties, you do like an NSYNC dance or something like that.
Electric
Like,
slide.
yeah, yeah,
Something.
yeah, yeah. And even as I go back into like the like really the back of my memory, but I have a lot of talented uncles and aunties who sang in church and stuff like
Mhm.
that, and play piano. My mom's brother, my uncle Jason, like he never took musicship professionally, but I feel like he really could have. I remember seeing him when I was like 5 years old, and he played in front of like a LCC for like a LCC ensemble sort of thing, and he can play like violin, guitar, like ukulele, piano. So yeah, just being around all my uncles and like them being DJs, right? Like again, hip hop generation, 90s, 2000s. Like my uncles are DJing weddings,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff. And so but I was so young. I was only like 7 or 8 at the time, and like no one wanted me behind the turntables because they're drinking and smoking.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like nobody wanted me in the mix. But yeah, like that's like kind of like when hip hop, like the hip hop bug, like got me really really early.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. So
But
did
but
you?
yeah, writing.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead about the writing.
No, 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 go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go
Oh
ahead,
no,
go
I
ahead.
was literally about to ask like when did you start like writing and
Okay.
stuff?
Yeah, yeah. So it's funny because literally just this past year, my cousin Malachi, shouts out my cousin Malachi, he actually told me that he remembers like me and him writing rhymes
Mhm.
when I was like in middle school. And I don't remember that because I didn't really start rapping till high school, till
Okay.
later in high school. But he told me that he remembers like when we were listening to Eminem and 50 Cent, like
Yeah.
we would play like the songs and try to like write our own raps. And he told me like he was probably only like 7 and I was maybe like 11 or 12.
Mhm.
But he told me that he remembers that we were writing like some bars, like not just like trash little kid bars. But I
Start
think
somewhere.
I
Yeah.
think I really, yeah. But you know, I always excelled in like writing classes. I always loved doing like speech classes. So yeah, writing in general came naturally to me. Again, at my school, like we had like it was intense, like it's private school kind stuff, you know. So we had
Mhm.
to do like definitions of 100 words a week and like make them into sentences, put them into a paper, like the whole 9 yards.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I just became like I was just soaking it in as a young wordsmith. And then it wasn't till I was right before my senior year in high school, my youth leaders, shouts out my youth leaders at church, they actually recommended me for this program called Represent to Witness, which I didn't know at the time. They told me it was a leadership camp, but it was basically like an ethnic studies uh 2 week course, and it was hosted at UC Berkeley in the Bay
Mhm.
Area.
Okay.
So this was back in 2009. And so every night we had to pick an art form that we want to do to like express or share what we're learning on the experiences, because you know we're talking to people, we're meeting places, going on field trips and stuff. I chose writing, spoken word and poetry. So from there, that's kind of like where it all started. And at that particular like at that particular camp, there was just so many talented youth, man.
Mhm.
Like I was like making songs, like we're just making songs, we're jamming, you know, very similar, like a teen camp sort
Yeah,
of
yeah.
thing. So yeah, that's kind of where it all started. And I came back here again. I had cousins who like can record and stuff. So my cousin Ryan started recording me on GarageBand, and yeah, that's how it started, man. Then yeah, that's literally how it started. Yeah,
Nice.
like 08, 09.
Yeah, mine's like yeah, literally the same. Like my forte was always like language arts and writing. Like I could not
Mm.
study for an SAT, walk in there like just woke up, boom, bang it out, get a solid grade. Like any other subject, I was like, okay, math, I sucked. Language arts though was my thing. So same
Yeah,
thing.
math. I suck at math too.
Yeah. So like when I fell in love with hip hop and stuff, and then I just kind of like I think the writer in you, the creative creator in you, kind of just like you hear these stories, you hear these kind of like testimonies in people's songs, and you hear their experiences, and you go, huh, let me just try share mine on this platform, and then that's kind of where it all
Yeah,
started for me. So being,
yeah,
I just on some hip hop nerd type of stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Do you have like a list, whether it's top 10, 15 of like your most favorite or most influential MCs, artists
Mm.
that really
Yeah,
impacted you, not only in your music and how you rap or whatever and what you listen to coming up, but
yeah,
like your life? You got a list of like
yeah.
top 10 or whatever?
Yeah, I'm definitely, yeah, a hip hop connoisseur, hip hop like lover, hip hop nerd,
Yeah,
artist,
yeah.
just like you know. So on my main list of artists, you know, my go-tos, because these are the ones that kind of like formed my psyche as a young kid.
Yeah,
So Eminem, you know, Eminem
for sure.
is probably my top one. I remember like my stepmom got mad at me because I had printed like lyrics and lyrics and lyrics of Eminem stuff, and I put it under my bed, and she found it. And again, like growing up in like a Christian household, they was not having that. Like they did not want me playing Stan or
Kill
like
you.
without me or Kim, So um yeah, and I think what was cool about Eminem is that he has such a killer wordplay, and it is about the content with him. It is,
Mhm.
but it's how he tells the story. He's like a novelist, but he tells it through, he could be like Stephen King, but he just tells it through,
To rap.
you know, his angry rap
By
at
the way,
that particular time.
happy birthday, Eminem is today actually. So
What?
yeah, you didn't know
That
that?
is so
Yeah,
cool. No, man.
yeah,
Oh
exactly. Because
shit.
he's always gonna be in my top five. So it's ironic that we had this
Uh,
today, and it's his birthday today.
yep, yep.
Yeah, sorry,
Eminem.
continue.
Yeah, no worries. After that, Tupac, my guy.
Mhm.
Like, I listened to Tupac probably when I was little, but I probably didn't like really listen until I got into high school. And so, yeah, in high school is when I really started listening to Tupac because I was playing basketball, and like all we do is listen to rap, lift weights, and play basketball. Like that's
Yeah,
just, and
that was the
also,
life.
yeah, like being part of all these cultures that were just like hip hop based. I also went to Moanalua High School,
Hmm.
and it's a very diverse school, a lot of military kids.
Right.
So, anyways, yeah. So yeah, Eminem, Tupac. Right after that, I gotta say Missy Elliott.
Hey, shout out.
She's the first MC and hip hop artist that I saw that I was like, wow, like I can really like do something like that,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
that's really cool. And I remember like my growing up, because I was a little tomboy growing up, like my aunties and my uncles, sometimes they would call me like, oh, Missy, like they'd be like, oh yeah, that's like you, Jehzan, on there,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so Missy, I would say that's my top three.
Nice.
Honestly, I would mention more after that, but to me, I feel like I'm also getting older, and also sounds are changing, and even my own
Hmm.
taste is changing, bro. So I gotta shout out the artists I listen to now. I'm a big fan of Logic,
Yeah.
Snow the Product,
Hey.
Russ. I mention this guy all the time, and I'm like manifesting that we're gonna be friends one day. But uh, he goes by Russell, but he used to be known as
Deep
Pride
Pride.
or D Pride.
I
He
know
is
he's
like my favorite. Like he's seriously my favorite. Like so much. I
that's the
even kind
golden
of
era of YouTube right there.
yeah. I
Traffic,
even kind of
Deep Pride.
copy. Oh my god. I
Yeah.
low key. I'm not afraid to say that I kind of copy his style and like how he does things, because like I just pick up things from him, and then I just kind of like I
Yeah.
try it in my own way.
Nah, I
His
feel you.
style. Yeah, and I love also, yeah, like shout out like the R&B. Like I love the R&B element. I just caught myself listening to like the whole Usher's Confessions album just literally like last week. Yeah,
Yeah.
so like Usher, Brian McKnight, All for
Mm,
One, Boys to Men, like all
yeah.
of those, and the females too, like Mary J. Blige, Lauren Hill, like
Yeah.
everybody in that whole mix, like that just really like I'm really into. Yeah, I could go way
Yeah.
more into like Filipino artists and hip hop artists. Yeah, but we'll get into that a little.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll let the conversation
Everybody
go.
you named, I came up listening to also. I mean, I was specifically
Yeah,
asking for hip hop artists, but that's cool that you mentioned all that too, because like
yeah.
like I play instruments, I sing and all that too. But like
Mhm.
it's so crazy that you said that. I was just watching Timothy Delgado's, he just goes by his name now, Tim. I was
Mm.
watching his podcast with Russell D Pride.
Yes.
It was so
Ah.
crazy because no disrespect to nobody, but like they're the only
Yeah.
two people from that golden era of YouTube that I still rock with today. Like I remember like
Oh,
every
yep.
day, every week waiting for a video from them, like Tim, D Pride, Lil Craze, J Rise, J Aquino,
Mm,
like Rin on the Rock.
bro. Yo.
All of
Oh,
them. You know what I'm saying?
Rain on the Rock.
You remember them?
AJ Raphael,
Andrew
bro.
Garcia, Andrew Raphael. I met
The
AJ.
whole.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is
You
so
remember
lit.
that golden era of YouTube? It was like
Oh,
that
I do,
whole
bro.
Asian like pride kind of
I
thing.
do.
But
I
yeah,
do, and I'm glad that I really thought it was gonna last longer, but I'm glad that it even happened.
yeah, for sure. I'm really
And
happy for where they're at
now,
now.
yeah, for sure. And and again, like it really shows the test of times. The one who really had it, because you can always get caught up
Mhm.
in the hype of whatever platform it is, but like who really had it, and it was those guys.
Yeah.
Shout out Timothy DeLegato. I also manifest that I'm his friend or
Me too. I feel
somehow
like Tim
his
Tim
friend.
got me through some hard times in high school with his Dear
Oh
Della Ghettos
yeah,
and stuff like
for
that.
real. I
Video.
still, it's crazy. I'm
He
such a
raised me a little
weirdo. Like
bit.
I still watch Dear Della Ghetto sometimes. Like I
Hey, me
still go
too.
back and watch like old episodes. I love it.
His
I
old
love it.
skits. Like I
Yep.
think it's because for Russell, it's because of like the whole like he's literally like lyrically and stuff. He's like he separated himself from the pack from that era.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
but like
Mhm.
regarding Tim, it's because he's like a Swiss Army knife. You know, he has so many
Yeah. Yeah.
facets, and I feel like when you resonate with that, you can kind of identify like yourself in that. You're gonna support that because I feel like I do
Mhm.
that as well. So like I
Yep.
would people know him for this or for this. Like I loved him for the rap, the comedy, the skits, the straight up
Mhm.
talking videos, and then now he has podcast,
Everything.
everything. You know what I'm saying? Tim was the man.
Yep.
He is the man.
Yeah. He's a man. Shout out Timothy
And now he's having a baby.
Chantarangsu.
What the heck?
Yeah, and shout out Chia. And it's so crazy because like me and my girlfriend started going out around the same time him and Chia. Like I'm not trying to say like we have a fucking connection. I'm just literally stating facts. Like I'm just
Dude, we're
literally stating
friends. You
facts.
don't know it yet, but we're
So
friends with him. We're gonna.
yeah, so I did a you know his song Chia that he made for
Yes.
her like
Chilling here in
7 years.
the atmosphere.
Oh hell yeah!
Of course.
I remixed his song along with a lot of other songs that he did and stuff. So yeah, I did a remix for that Chia song from my girlfriend at
Nice.
that time. Yeah, so
Did you
it's
have
just
to
one of
change
those.
the title? You
No,
made your
I
girlfriend's name
actually
the
I think
acronym? Oh,
no,
you
no,
left
I
it
just
as.
called it a remix.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Hey, I
yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah.
ask.
But it was a whole
Brought
thing.
up, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, go, bro.
Oh, since you brought up like Missy and Lauren and all that, I want to ask, um, what's the importance for? I'm not even gonna talk about Hawaii hip hop. I'm gonna talk about hip hop in general because
For sure,
you're
let's do
out
it.
there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Thank you.
what's the significance and importance for you of kind of like making your mark as a female artist in a predominantly
Uh
male
huh.
genre, music genre. I mean, nowadays there's a
Yeah,
lot of females,
yeah,
which is so dope.
yeah.
Like, what is your personal take on like the female hip hop scene, and what are some difficulties you feel like you guys go through? Because I feel
Mm.
like a lot of people bust through, like obviously back in the day, had Lil Kim, and all that, Lauren
Mhm.
Hill, and then
Yes.
like you got now it's like Nicki and Cardi, and not in the newer
Mhm.
generation, like Saweetie and Mulatto, all these people. So like,
Meg. Yeah.
how has in your perspective how has female hip hop progressed, and
Mm.
what are some difficulties and challenges you feel like you guys still face or are proud that you have overcome?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like my dad went out like literally young as like 7 years old. My dad used to tell me like, Jazan, you're gonna have to work harder because like you're not a guy. Like he used to tell me that. And
Oh,
at first I used to get mad at him or like I didn't know where to put how I felt about that statement at
right.
that time. But yeah, like even as a young kid, I just recognized that and that this world is male dominated, that this world is patriarchal. Of course, I want to change that, which is why
Mhm.
I choose to do hip hop, which is why I try to do all I can to empower myself and others.
Right.
Um, so, but I guess you can say like the state of like female MCs in hip hop. I feel like low key we're about to enter another golden age of
Yeah,
female artists.
I agree.
And I think it's gonna be bigger. I think it's gonna be bigger than the last one. And yeah, shout out to the artists from even before. I got to
Salt and
open
pepper.
for yeah, Salt and Peppa, even yeah, like freaking Queen Latifah, The
Hmm.
Brat, oh my god, Trina,
Trina.
like all these
Yeah. Eve.
all Eve,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, like I just feel like we're about to enter a new golden era, and what's even cooler about this is that I feel like the audience and the world, as much as we are becoming polarized and I don't want to get into the politics of everything, but
Right.
the world or somewhat is kind of becoming polarized, but I still feel like the audience in hip hop, the true like believers of hip hop, not like just the rap industry, is what I'm saying.
Hmm.
We actually are becoming smarter as a listener, which is why I feel like there is also not a resurgence, but there's a growing, for lack of better words, I feel like conscious rap is also growing again,
Hmm.
which is something I felt like it was getting lost like in the whole this is like no disrespect to like trap and whatever. I love trap too. You know,
Right.
I love Migos and Future and stuff. But I feel like that was being lost in the past couple years. And now with political stuff that's happening, with human issues that are really being affected right now, especially in this pandemic, yeah, it's about to open a whole floodgates of females that are just ripping it. And in the Filipino community, I'm super pumped because you know, you have Ruby Ibarra, you have
Ruby
Rocky
Ibarra.
Rivera, and even like other artists too, Versol out in California, that's the homie, you know, like all these other rappers who are just coming up, and Latina artists too. Like I
Snow the
feel like not
Product.
only are, yeah, not only are women popping in hip hop now, but women of color are coming in and like being unapologetic. And I'm glad that in a general sense, I feel like, again, like the male hip hop listeners, like y'all are becoming more like less judgy, I guess you can say. Like I feel like guys now are kind of like, yeah, I fucks with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they're not as, I guess you can say they're not as like stereotypical as maybe like a '90s crowd or a early like 50 Cent era guys. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that, they might not really fuck
Wear
with
the
that,
jock
but yeah,
strap on your sleeve kind of thing, like just all
for
ego,
sure,
all alpha male. You know what I'm saying?
for sure, for sure. So yeah, I think we're entering a new golden age, and I'm proud. I'm proud to, you know, be part of that and like just contribute as
Definitely.
much as I can. Yeah.
Nah, for sure. Like honestly, to be completely honest, when you think of female hip hop in a sense of Filipino community, Asian community, and in the
Mm,
Hawaii community, especially in the
mm.
Hawaii community, like you're a household name kind of, especially on Oahu for crying out loud.
Bet. Thank you. Thank
No, for real. Like I don't know, I haven't met anybody who's like who has like dabbed a little bit in the Hawaii hip hop world who doesn't know you. Like you definitely created your
Yeah,
and you're like ripping, you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? And it's because
Thank you. Thank you.
for you personally, I think it's because of it's obviously the talent and then like the work ethic and then just the humility to
Mhm.
make connections and do these types of things.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
as a whole, what really got people's not really not necessarily acceptance, but like
Mhm.
respect, like in terms of
Yeah.
female artists or people who like you throw them on a track and they're undeniably talented, like they can keep up bar for bar. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like people like
Yeah.
Trina, like I remember because
Yeah.
I'm a big Ludacris fan. So like that whole
Yeah.
movement and like to me, Luda is so slept on and underrated, and like his flows and
Mm.
his like,
Mm.
and when
Oh,
Trina was in that group and DTP and everything, I was like, yo, this girl's bad too. She can keep up. And then like
yeah.
people like Nikki came on, she had that crazy like that alter ego like Slim Shady. She had Nikki,
Yes.
she had
Yes. Shout out Nikki, man.
I'm blanking out right now. She had her alter ego where she would like
Yeah.
flip the switch and then just go ham on the track too. So and
Yeah.
like it comes to a point where like hip hop is like or like rap or music in general, it can be genderized, but it's like good talent is good talent. You know, good lyrics are good
Mhm.
lyrics.
Mhm.
Good storytelling is
Mhm.
good storytelling.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
like regardless of what you feel about it, like even if you can't relate,
Yeah.
if you can have a deeper understanding and appreciation of this person as an artist and what they're speaking through their life through music, it's like you don't even
Yeah.
see color, you don't even see gender. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like when I heard Snow the Product for the first time, I heard her. She's keeping up with some of my favorites like Tech Nine and Crooked Eye, King Crooked. And
Yes.
yo, who's this girl?
Yes.
And then I checked her
Yes.
out. I was like, yo, she's like you would never expect. First of all, she's like a Hispanic female rapper, but she's like killing it.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yep.
that's so
Yep.
awesome. I'm so
And
glad
she's
you guys
been
are doing that.
signed.
Yeah.
She's been in the industry, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and now she's doing it independent. And she even said that she always ran her business independent anyway, or her brand.
Yeah.
So leaving the label wasn't really like a big deal. Like
Yeah.
she already had it on her own. And so I learned a lot from Snow the Product, even watching her vlogs like years ago. Again, like even Ruby Ibarra, she used to do this segment on her YouTube channel called MPC Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would just used to watch that back in like 2011, 2012. And so again, yeah. And I also want to shout out a bunch of, I know we're on a tangent of hip hop stuff, but like
No, no, go ahead.
shout out all the underground indie artists that maybe they never got like super famous, but they're like straight up killing it. Hopsin,
I love
uh,
Hobson.
Dumbfounded,
I love Dumbfounded too.
Yox. I got, yeah, Yox. I know I'm missing a whole lot of. a whole lot of other people, but like those guys I also gotta mention too. That Blue Scholars, like the whole beat
Oh
rock
yeah,
camp, honestly. Blue Scholars, Geologic, Sabzi, uh, what's his name? Oh my God, Bamboo, like all those
yeah. Okay.
guys, like all these guys are like who I fucks with in my
Mm-hmm.
hip hop catalog, you know.
No, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's it. That's very important to like. I mean, because it's like you can only recreate the wheel so many times. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
it's so important to be yourself, but also acknowledge like, like the people that you truly admire and listen to and are a fan of personally. There's gonna
Hmm.
be
Hmm.
inevitably there's gonna be like a tad bit of like influence in their style or their music in yours, whether it be like the
Hmm.
flows or like the subject matter, like, and that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I like about people who like you, who like, and like I feel like myself too, who have all these influences, you're able to
Mm.
hold on to that, or people can hear it, like they know what you're a fan of and what you listen to, but also you have your own personal twist on it. That's like, okay, you got your
Mm.
own sound. This is original. You definitely got your own lane. Because
Yeah, yeah.
I remember like hip hop was at a point where like it was so important to be different than someone else, and then
Yeah.
we hit a stage where like if it's not like everything else, it's kind of like outcasted. But I feel like just having your own
Mm.
voice, having your own sound is so important, especially if you have a
Hmm.
different demographic or crowd that you're trying to put on
Yep.
for. Be like
Yep. Yep.
just being a minority or being a female.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, I applaud you for that a lot. Didn't you just get off
Thanks, man.
tour? I swear to God, you did a
Um.
tour like in Davao City, in Philippines, like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
couple
yeah.
years
No,
ago. A couple
so
years ago.
yeah, yeah. So the tour. I'm glad you asked about that. Thank you. And I'm
Yeah.
sitting in my room right now, and so if you can see like the artwork up there, like
Uh
that's
huh.
all from the tour. Like people who
Nice.
made stuff for me, and
Oh,
fans
that's
who
dope.
like friends and fans who like signed like canvases for me.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, yeah. I went on tour, man. I went on tour last February 2019. I was there from February 1st to February 28th with my girlfriend G.
Mm-hmm.
We actually stayed with my friend, my good friend Tiny. Her name is Tiny, but we call her Jan. Or her name is Jan, but we call her Tiny. Anyways, that's
Tiny John.
irrelevant. But yeah, yeah, yeah. We hung. We stayed with her, and so yeah, we were really grateful to have like a place to stay, a homie who like spoke the language, has a
Right.
car, and like was just down to like host us
Nice.
basically. And so yeah, we just made it happen, man.
So like you literally had like, so there were venues that you would just pull up to throughout your stay there and just perform at? Like how who did your friend set all that up and stuff?
No, no, no. Like we did it myself. We all did it together, but
Oh,
me
okay.
and G like did a lot of the back end stuff for it. So first of all, like just in general, like when you think of a tour, artists like that's like the main that's like a big step, that
Yeah.
artists want to do. Going from local to doing traveling and stuff. Like everyone wants to do that. So it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. It's something I've tried to do at different points over the past few years. So I actually like I don't know if you know, but I went to Team Backpack in
Mm-hmm.
2015
Yeah, I remember that.
in LA. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like my first like you know outside the island doing music kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2016, in the summertime, me and my friends just went to Maui for a weekend, and I performed and did like interviews and like video
Oh,
out
nice.
there. So that was back in 2016. And so like, and then like right after that, right after I graduated college, that's when I went into teaching, into doing shows and after shows on Oahu. And so that's how I started like building my name.
Nice.
2017, 2018. And then yes, 2019 came along, and I was like, or like the end of 2018, we're like, we need to take this shit to the next level. Like I'm not trying to. I love performing. Like I will perform
Mm-hmm.
anywhere. Even this whole pandemic, I'm like, yo, I would perform anywhere at this point. But we have to get out and be for me as a Pinay artist, as who I just in my own personal beliefs, like I felt that before I start trying to go to the rest of the mainland and the rest of the world, I need to go to the Philippines
Yeah.
because I'm not born there, and
Right.
neither was my mom. My dad was born there, but he moved here when he was like 6, 7 years old. So
Mhm.
all I've really known until this day, because I live here, all I've really known is Hawaii, but I need to see my culture in the flesh. I need to be in
Was
it,
that your
you
first time
know?
going?
So no, it was not. My
Oh,
first
okay.
time was in 2017
Oh, it is.
as
Sorry.
a
Yeah.
family vacation. But this was my first time in Davao, and Davao is also important to me because that's where my father and his family is from.
Okay.
And we literally just, for like 6 months before the tour, basically I was on Instagram looking up hashtags like Davao hip hop, Davao producers, Davao DJs, Davao
Hmm.
rappers. And Davao is a big city, but it's very similar to Honolulu, where like, and around the islands in general, like, this DJ might perform at like Mai Tais, but he also runs the talent for next door. I'm not saying that don't quote me. I'm just saying like
Yeah.
that's kind of how shit is run around here. And so in the Philippines and in Filipino culture too, like the DJ does this night on Saturday, but he also runs the talent and promotion for this other bar. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So there's a
Yeah.
lot of like cross promoting and cross branding and cross managing going on. So that's literally what I did, bro. I was on Instagram, I was on Facebook and on Twitter, and I just researched like who to hit up. And I probably hit up a lot of people, but I
Hmm.
only sticked with a few. So I was able to book. I booked 4 shows. So initially I wanted to do at least one show every weekend because I stayed there for 4 weeks, right? For
Okay.
the month. So
Right.
one show a week. And so I went there with that one show a week and a radio interview and
Nice.
a music video like scheduling sort of thing. But and a workshop, a hip hop youth workshop.
Okay.
But then when I went there, I knew, and even in Filipino culture, right? Like I knew that I'm not like super known yet, so I'm
Hmm.
still underground. So they're probably not gonna just say yes. Like I am gonna get lucky and like people are gonna say yes. But I know a lot of the other shows are gonna get booked after them seeing me in
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
after that, literally, I performed on a Friday. I got invited to a show the following day,
Oh
and
wow.
so I ended up doing 6 or 7 shows.
Nice.
Um,
It's
yeah, so I
almost
picked up a
doubling your
couple more
quota.
shows. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So people think that tour has to be like every single day and like doing this, and that, but really, like, it really starts at this level, yo. Like,
Yeah.
first
Just
of all, make
hit the
a plan,
groundwork.
make
Yeah.
a budget, yeah, and then do your research and book it. And yeah, shit might not always be exactly how it pans out, but that's why. Just do your research and prepare as much as you can,
For sure.
because the universe and the world is always going to be in its own crazy freaking way,
Hmm.
but just prepare yourself as much as you can and make it happen. This is your passion,
Right. So
yeah.
that's so awesome. That's so awesome. Like
Yeah,
performing in the motherland. Were you able to connect
yeah.
with like local talent over there, whether it be DJs or producers or other artists, and like
Oh yeah,
still
major.
keep up with them?
Yeah, yeah. So even like 3 months or 4 months before I left, I actually did an EP as like a fundraiser for the tour. So I made my
Okay. Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
Island
yeah.
Waves, yeah, Island Waves and City Haze EP Volume 3 because it's a series I did
Hmm.
before. But anyways, yeah. So during that time, I was like, I also want to build like real connections with the artists who are already there, so that we're somewhat familiar with each other when we go there.
True.
So I DM'd this artist named Fuser, who's a graphic designer and rapper. He's actually living in California right now, but his group, Delinquent Society, and they're big in Mindanao, bro. Like you should look them up.
Okay.
Delinquent Society.
I'll check them
He
out.
does all their visuals and like their graphics and stuff. And so I hit him up, and he did the cover art for that EP even before I went to the Philippines.
Oh, word.
Yeah, so shout
Wow.
out Fuser. He did my Waste My Time cover art too. I know he's done a couple more. Maybe he did my official artwork for my tour too. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, I linked up with him, and then when I went to Davao, I met a lot of people, but shouts out System Game of Rap. That's like a battle league, and battles are big into the Philippines too.
Yeah.
Like
Flip top. I
yeah. Oh yeah, Flip
know.
Top.
I know.
Shout out the homies at Flip Top. Yeah, I met Flip Top. So I did a System Gamer rap show, a Flip Top show, and
Nice.
then shout out. I've shouted these guys a lot, but these are the homies, Gravity Studios. These are the guys who I spent most of my time with. They're kind of the ones who like accepted me and like took me under their wing. So I actually recorded an EP with them out there in Gravity
That's
Studio.
awesome.
Yeah. So
That's
again,
cool.
like 6 shows, a workshop, interview, vlogs, videos, and then like a whole EP came out of that. Yeah. So
Wow. So that be well, that was a really productive trip then. That was pretty
yeah, and
awesome.
so again, yeah, I just wanted to share like if you like I wanted to show myself that given the right environment and like budget, I know I can do this full time. I know
Yeah.
I can wake up, do an interview, record a song, go to the beach, then shoot a video. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
after.
that's the life I want to live, son. So I had to like kind of like, you know, do it in real
Dip your
life
feet in the
for
water
a
real
minute.
quick. Just yeah.
Yeah.
How much like time of prep went into that? Like, I mean, obviously like saving for the trip and all that, but like just doing
Hmm.
the homework, doing the like the social media marketing and networking and
Hmm.
all that, and like mapping out venues and all that. How much time did that take total?
Right. So me and my girlfriend, like the first initial thing, the idea happened when she was on the toilet, actually, but that's a totally different story. Like, you know, we always get inspired. We're entrepreneurs,
Those are
right?
where
So
my
our
best ideas
brains are
happen. Those are where my
exactly, exactly, for sure, man. And yeah, so I would say a good solid 6 months. You know, talking about fundraising, researching, planning, and then finally like booking and then getting, you know, the actual shit, like buying the tickets,
yeah.
getting the transportation situated. And yeah, like, and it was funny because a lot of the venues there, like even before coming, they would be like, "Oh, are you sure you want to perform with us? Because we don't think we can afford you." And it's like, wow, like that's crazy because like this is no shade. This is
Mm-hmm.
no shade to anybody in Hawaii who promotes hip hop music or whatever, okay? But it's not like I get super paid from these shows out here. You know, God bless the ciphers and the open mics and stuff that we got out here, but
Mm-hmm.
artists are really not, unless you run it yourself and like take that promoter, which is what I try to do as well, like, or partner with promoters, like unless you're doing that, you're not going to be making money. And I feel like that is where we want to be, right? As
Yeah.
much as we do it for the love, but we can only get like slept on so much. Like I don't want to. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, a
No,
big
I feel that.
philosophy that the Gravity Studios homies had in the Philippines is that every show they split the door profits with all of the artists, even
Oh
if
wow.
artists only make like $5. You know what I mean? But they
That's
still pay them.
that's respectable.
And
Just because
so
like
I
the show
really fuck
happened
with
because
that.
of them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You gotta pay the talent.
Yes.
Yeah, there would be
Yes.
no
Yes.
show without the talent. Like you
Yeah.
can
So
promote
I
all you
really
want, you know what
fuck
I'm
with
saying?
that.
But that's awesome. What would
But
you say
yeah,
your oh sorry.
no, yeah, like just the venues out there though, they were super cool. You know, even if they couldn't like pay me necessarily, like they would give me like a budget and I could just like buy whatever I wanted, like you know, like drinks and like
Yeah,
food and
yeah.
stuff, or they'd give me like a shirt and like ultimately I wasn't there to make money, you know,
The
but
experience and the
I was just
exposure.
yeah the experience, yeah, and the exposure, so
Yeah.
definitely.
What would you say was your biggest takeaway? Not not materially in terms of like your music and what
Mm,
you're able to accomplish, but like mentally for you, like a mental note you
mm,
put it down as like a gem that will forever like because I'm sure it was a life changing experience in many ways.
mhm,
So like when
mhm.
like if you were to randomly think about your trip and your tour and all that was accomplished, which was a lot, what would you say
Yeah.
the part that stuck out the most that you're super grateful for that happened overall? I'm sure everything was beneficial and everything was
Mhm,
positive.
mhm.
Is there like one thing that sticks out?
Yeah. Really, I would say it was a conversation that I had with the homies when we were doing my 4 days music video. So shout out Erich Perez. Check him out. He did my 4 days music video. We spent like a whole night just shooting all over the city and stuff. And I had the homie Kid Flip, Jan, and my girlfriend G in the car with us, like doing the shots and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so it was towards that shoot happened like towards the end of the trip. So I was already kind of in like a reflective mode.
Right.
And so it's crazy because the homies over there, like, and like these are Filipinos in the Philippines. It's different. It's just different, you know. I mean, of course we're the same, but we're born with different. Me and you are born with different opportunities just by being born here, you know.
Hmm.
So my homies over there, they actually said like it literally like came out of their mouth like we know that we may never blow up from this,
Yeah.
but this is our passion and this is how we express ourselves, and we will continue to follow that. And this is not
Right.
to say that they half-ass shit.
Hmm.
They do
Or
not.
that they
They
won't
go
blow
all
up.
the fuck in. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. They go all the fuck in. They have posters. They have merch. People do like graffiti art. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that whole thing there just taught me like, wow, like life is happening right the fuck now, you know?
Mhm.
And if I call this particular little hobby or interest I got in hip hop or music my passion, it's happening now. And a lot of artists, especially nowadays in the social media world, right? Everyone wants to be a rapper, quote unquote. Like, it's not about the followers and all that, bro. It's
Mhm.
about like the actual connection you're making with people and the actual
Right.
impact you're making. Because you're telling me that I'm a household name on Oahu, it doesn't really reflect that in my social media numbers. Like if you saw me, there are like I have like hot homegirls who have more followers than me. You
Oh,
know what
in
I
this
mean?
scene, in our
Yeah,
scene, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah. But ultimately, I know that the people that care about my music or about my brand or whatever it is,
Hmm.
like you guys, like it's a true, genuine connection, and I feel like that's gonna give me longevity to do this the rest of my life. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
No, for
and
sure.
I feel like I found my purpose. I'm glad and blessed that I found my purpose young, and that I was blessed to have parents and an upbringing that allowed me to continue to build on this
Hmm.
you know, continue to build on this. So yeah.
That's awesome. No, yeah, and I feel like that sounds a lot like one of my favorite all time, not just rappers but
Mm.
musicians, artists, J. Cole, because his story,
Yep. Shout out J Cole.
because to this day, he's like, yeah, he's one of the not only statistically but like in terms of like
Hmm.
musician and hip hop heads, um, in their general crowd. He's like one of the most consistent statistically and
Yeah.
respected people. And like I always, I've watched, I probably like stand over J. I am stand with J. Cole. Like I watched every interview, I listened to every song, every mixtape, and
Yeah.
what's mind boggling about his story, which is kind of like what you just brought up, which is why
Mm.
it like took me by not surprise, but like it just made me think of it. Is like he didn't really on the come up. He didn't do all this press. He didn't have all the
Hmm.
media outlets
Hmm.
pushing him like other people in within that time frame, like Drake and stuff. But
Hmm.
he's to this day, he's still popping, and it's because and he showed the industry like you can do that with with legitimately with the work, with the product, with the music. Because he's not the type to sit in front of a camera and do a million interviews a day, shoot a promo,
Yeah.
be out there in the streets, and like
Yeah.
pushing his name out with a blimp with his name. He just does the work, does like puts out his product, and it sticks and resonates, and
Yeah.
then you
Yeah.
create genuine fans, genuine listeners who are
Hmm.
genuinely interested in your story and your brand, and even if you go ghost once in a while, every time you drop something,
Hmm.
the numbers are consistent. Even with like Logic, like
Hmm.
he said like in one of his, because I know you're a big Logic fan and so am I. Like one of
Hmm.
his, I think this was Bobby Tarantino the two mixtape where he was saying like
Mm.
I made it. I'm famous. I'm loved and I'm hated. Like I came up. I
Yo.
didn't. I didn't. I came up not having to hate on nobody. I wasn't like. I wasn't an a hole to nobody. And look, I'm rich and I'm
Yeah.
famous. You know, like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like those
Yeah.
two people for me, like really showed like even if you don't have the big backing and the big push, like if what you do and who you are comes out and your product comes off as genuine, sincere, and it's just dope, it's undeniable, and
Yeah.
you'll have that sticking, consistent crowd. And then like next thing you know, for all I know, J. Cole's the only artist on Rock Nation or Jay-Z's label that I'm aware of anyway. And like this if
Right.
it is, I
Right.
feel like you
Right.
only need one. So like
Hmm.
what you said really like resonated with me, like with J. Cole's story. Like just he kind of came up, he was popping, he was buzzing, but he kind of came up on the low,
Hmm.
and then he wasn't really out there. But to this day, since he came out and up until today, we've seen so many people
Hmm.
come in and out, have a hot two
Hmm.
seconds of fame, and then dip out.
Hmm.
Hey, I think he even said it in like his song 1985, where he's like, like
I love that song. Yeah.
you'll be out of here in a second if you like what you're pushing out
Hmm.
isn't legit. If it isn't dope, you'll be on Love and Hip Hop. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
That's so awesome. I'm so happy for you that you got to do that, and like that your brand and your name, and not only that, but like your life, you got to experience that, and because it resonates. You came back, and then the grind was even more steady.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
hey, I wanted to ask because I never did have the opportunity to
Yeah.
ask. You were in
Go
the
ahead. Go
military?
ahead. Yes, bro. For 6 years.
Oh yeah, like right out of high school, kind.
Yes, bro. Yeah. So,
Was it Army,
what
Air
is your
Force?
official? What is your official question?
Oh no, no,
Or
yeah,
whatever.
my
What?
question was like, oh yeah, my bad.
No
My
worries.
question
No
was
worries.
like,
Before we frame our convo.
yeah, my bad. Well, my question was just like, like, why did you join and what was your job?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you asked me because a lot of people just don't. They probably don't even know, and then they don't ask. So I'm really glad that you asked. Yes. So like the choosing the military was not like it wasn't a choice that I premeditated throughout high school. Like I wasn't in JROTC and like all that. I
Yeah.
actually didn't really fuck with like military kind stuff like in high school. And low key, I still don't like
Right,
even
right.
after being, but just the whole lifestyle of it is just not authentic to who I am.
Mhm.
However, so I'll just give you the whole spiel because we're here. I know you got a paper to write, but
Nah, you're good. You're
I'm
good. I'm
telling
chilling.
you. Thank you,
I'm
thank you,
enjoying.
thank
I'm
you,
enjoying
man.
this.
Thank you. Me too. I am
Yeah, this is
too.
cool. Good.
Thank you. So yeah, so in 2010, well, first of all, in 2008, I don't know if you know, but we actually experienced a recession during the
Mhm.
Obama administration back in like '08 is like when the official whatever recession happened. And for people who don't know what a recession is, like we go through cycles in our economy and jobs are affected, people's livelihoods are affected, mortgages and all that.
Sort
Hawaii
of like
people, we
now.
know how that feels. Yeah, Hawaii, exactly what we're going through right now. Oh
Right.
my God, that's such a great point. Yes. Um, and my mom, she's been in the finance industry for over 10 years. And again, she's had her own hustle and grind, which has inspired me. But during that like '08 to 2010 years, she was experiencing a lot of like, just a lot of like job uncertainty. Like, and she was blessed to not have gotten laid off till about 2010, but it
Mhm.
happened right when I graduated high school. So like I was on the track of like, all right, getting a scholarship. Cause again, I was in sports, I was big in academics, I was like in student government and stuff. So like I was on my way to being in like college. And again,
Yeah.
like Moana Lua, that demographic of students is kind of affluent. It's a public school, but Salt Lake, the whole Aiea, Moana Lua area is kind of an
Mhm.
affluent area. I'm not
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
everyone is affluent, but generally it's kind of an affluent area, especially the military population, that
Mhm.
is part of that whole demographic of
No, yeah, my
people.
sister
Shout
graduated this year, so I know.
Hey, yeah,
I have
man, and
family
hey,
going there.
shout out Moana Lua, man. I wouldn't be who I am today without Moana Lua High School, for real,
Yeah.
for real. But anyways, what the heck was I saying? Yeah, so I during that time, my homeboy Gabe, he he actually was meeting up with a recruiter, kind of like towards the end of our senior year, and he was like, yeah, just come with me to the meeting at Coffee Bean, and like we'll just chop it up and whatever.
Oh, you can't say no
And
to
so
coffee
we
bean.
yeah. And so again, like at that time, all my homegirls, like they're all thinking about college and everyone's planning to go college. And
Mhm.
I realized that I probably wouldn't be able to pay for college on my own, unless I got like a full ride scholarship. I was smart, but I wasn't like that smart. You know what I'm saying?
Solid
Yeah, or like I was,
minus.
yeah. Like I didn't take like AP classes and stuff because I still wanted to have a life, which I feel like is important for kids too. Like as
Right.
much as you want to take AP, and A, by all means, if you want to take AP, that's cool, man. If you want to take early college credits, that's cool. But for
Mhm.
me, as a senior at 17, I was like, I'll take an honors class that I know I can do good in, and yeah.
Mhm.
I'm freaking rambling right now,
No, no, no. It's
Jordan.
all good.
Sorry,
It's all good.
I'm down the rabbit hole of my high school years. But anyways,
As part of the
so my
story, it's
homeboy,
all good.
yeah, my homeboy had met up with a National Guard recruiter. And if I was to join the military, I thought I would have joined the Air Force. Like, I just thought
Mhm.
that was like the best one to join. And this recruiter, for whatever reason, I'm not trying to say that he lied or whatever, but he kind of made it seem that, oh, if I go to this meeting with him, I can, like at the Army office, I can talk to him about becoming a like an Air National Guardsman.
Yeah.
But then come to find out, like long story short, we go through the process, we take our ASVAB, we go in for our physical and stuff like that. And then basically my homeboy drops out. Like he decides not to continue. Like at the point where you either really continue or you don't, he freaking drop. Like he just dipped, and no
Yeah, yeah.
no no disrespect to my home. That's my homeboy for life,
Nah, put him
That's
on
like my
blast.
brother
I'm just playing.
basically.
I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
kidding.
yeah. That's my brother for life though, Gabe, for sure.
Shout out to
But
Gabe.
yeah, so I went ahead and continued that path, and then I realized when I got my freaking military ID, it said Army. And then I called my recruiter and he's like, no, I told you I'm an Army recruiter for the National Guard. And I said, I told you I wanted to be in the Air Force and all
Dang it.
this other like Yeah, I know all these weirdo like details coming in, and so. But real talk though, like what I was sold on, I guess, in the military was basically, again, 17 years old. As much as I want to still live with my mom, she just got laid off of work. She's starting to stress out. Bills are piling up, and
I
I'm
help out.
definitely not like lit in rap yet at that point. Like I'm not. Maybe like my high school friends knew about me and that was it, and like church and that
Yeah.
was it. Yeah. And so like I just had to like have like a mature moment at that point, you know, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna commit to this, because what can this give me at this point? Well, for the next 6 months, for during training, I'll have all 3 meals like
Mm-hmm.
guaranteed. They gotta feed me breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't have to pay rent. I'm gonna be in barracks. I'm gonna be, I guess, somewhat safe in a, you know, a military installation,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna get to get in shape and learn and meet new people, and I'm getting paid. Like, what other situation could a young
Right.
kid, you know what I'm saying? So
Were you reserve? You were active.
yeah, no, so I was National Guard, but
Also, okay, sorry.
um like yeah, I was National Guard, but the like when you initially get in, this you go to the same active duty training. Like
Oh yeah.
everyone is active duty
Mm-hmm.
during training. Yeah, um so I went during October. So I graduated in May, and then October 2010 I went to basic training. Graduated in January 2011. Then I went to AIT. I was a truck driver, so I'm an 88 Mike
Oh wow.
for all the military people out there. Yeah, I
Nice.
was a truck driver, and I picked truck driver, not knowing it was one of the most dangerous jobs because of like IEDs and shit. Like
Mm-hmm.
next to like infantry and combat engineering, being a truck driver is like less a really risky job if you're talking about like deployment and stuff.
Yeah, like
So luckily,
you're going. Like
yeah,
you're on the
yeah,
field.
luckily, like praise God for real. I feel like it happened for a reason. I never was deployed. There was a couple of times where my unit was supposed to get deployed. I never did. The year that they finally started getting deployed, and like I saw my friends actually flying to different places around the world, was the year I got out. So they
Oh,
couldn't
okay.
they
When
couldn't
did you get him?
bring me in.
So
Yeah, so
20,
I again
2000s.
I joined in summer of 2010, and then I was officially in the Hawaii Army National Guard till the summer of 2016.
Okay, right, 6 years.
Yeah, yeah. So if people kind of follow like my trajectory, I really started kind of like popping off locally after I graduated school and after I got out the military. Because even though I in the guard, you only do. Sorry, let me backtrack. So after AIT, when you're in the guard, you go back to your home state. So my home state was Hawaii,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I chose to be in the guard, because I was like, oh, I'll go away for a little while, make some money, and I get to come back and go to school.
Yeah,
So that was another reason why I joined the military, is because they helped me pay for school.
that makes sense
Straight up.
because
Yeah. So
no, yeah, like when you're talking about your timeline and your
yeah.
trajectory, that makes sense because I graduated high school 2014. So
Hmm.
I that's when I think I found out about you and I reached out and I hit you up, which was like a little bit during that time, if not a little before, a little
Yeah.
after. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
around that time I already knew who you were. So
Cool. Cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I got out officially in 2016, and I will say, like, you know, as much as, again, like there's whole politics and stuff, and the military is not perfect, and certainly there are certain you know, issues that we definitely need to address as military people and military leaders
Mm-hmm.
and the military in general. But as far as what it did for me, like it helped set a foundation, and at the same time, like, you know, I feel like a lot of people who get screwed over by the military, or they feel a way about the military, is because they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like just like going to any other job or any other school system, you need to know what you're getting into, and you need to know how to navigate. And a lot of my homies, in like, no disrespect to my homies in the guard, like my friends are my family in the National Guard. Like all my homies that I met, they're like my brothers and sisters for life, you know.
Right.
But a lot of them, like, they didn't have a plan going in. It was just like, I'm gonna I'm gonna make this money, I'm gonna do this, military is gonna take care of me. But they didn't really have like a whole plan. Me, I went in with a plan. I was like, I'm gonna just shut my mouth for 6 years or whatever, and just do my thing, get my schooling, and get the fuck out. And that's exactly what the fuck I did. Like, that's just what I did, man. Like, the whole time, I would bring my homework to drill. Like, people
Oh
would see
really?
me doing like my homework and stuff. And yeah, man, like you just had to do it. And so when I was in college, I was like in the guard, like training on the weekends. I was working at various different places. I worked at Foot Locker, Prototype, Starbucks. Like I worked at so many different places, and I was in school full time too, which is another reason why I joined the Guard, because it allowed me to train on the weekends and then I could still do full time school. It's not easy. They make it sound easy. It's not easy, but it's definitely doable. And I was super glad at the same time I met my girlfriend, like kind of like during that whole mix of my young 20s, and like we've just been able to kind of like just help each other grow, especially her helping me throughout all my different transitions in my career. Like, so yeah, man, that's
Nice.
kind of how it all happened. Yeah.
Well, I know that seems like that was an essential part of your life. So, you know, you are where you're at now. So I'm sure there's a lot of skills, a lot of takeaways in a positive way that you're able to like still hold on to. So that's part of your story. That's awesome. I just wanted to run it back because I honestly forgot how I heard about you, but after I did, I remember like some ways more recent than others. But I was like, yo, wait, actually, there's a lot of mutual connections here. Like Monlo, like my cousin Brianna, you guys play basketball.
Yeah.
And then my girlfriend Shireen, and now her oldest sister Demeliza, like, you guys are
Demeliza, yep, that's the
like,
homie. Yeah.
Like, you're always like just there. So I was like, oh, that's so dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like this is even like aside from like our own conversations that we've had like doing music together and stuff. That's so awesome. I remember too, like that time, like I don't know if it was last year, 2018, when Damie took us to watch you perform.
Yeah, it must have been 2018. Yeah.
Okay.
The summer of 2018. Yeah.
It was at Hawaiian
before
Brian's.
I went on tour. Yeah.
Because I know like the homie Jordan was there too, and then but then like Damie's like, oh, do you want to go to this event at Hawaiian Brian's? I'm gonna go watch my friend Jehzan perform. I was like, yeah, for sure.
Yes.
And then like, my more recently, like my good, he's a friend, he's a homie, he's a friend now, but he's my coworker also. Chester, but I was talking.
That's my girlfriend's cousin. Like that's my cousin. That's my girlfriend's literal cousin.
Yeah,
and he's been doing at the care home. I mean, at
the mental hospital with me.
Yeah.
I would say a few months ago, and then like we connected pretty quick, and then we became homies pretty quick. And then we were talking, and then he's telling me like if I ever needed help videography wise with anything, and then I'm like, oh wait, you know Jehzan? I was like, yeah, dude, that's the homie.
Yeah, Chester. He did. Shouts out Chester. He did. He's done a couple of photo shoots for me this year. A more recent one too. So yeah, I definitely want to work with him. He said he's doing more videography too. So I want to hit him up for that. And he mentioned you too, so that's super cool.
We always talk about it. So like when the time comes or with the right project, whatever, I'll make sure like get them on board to mutually help out each other. So that's so good. And before I don't want to keep you too long. Before I wrap this up, I just want to I always give my guests a chance to like drop like a gem. Doesn't even have to be regarding music, just in general, something that you've learned, either someone showed you, told you, or you experienced for yourself, or you found out for yourself that would be beneficial for like the upcoming entrepreneur, musician, just whatever. Anything that you can share that has definitely like impacted you in your career and your goals and your dreams and in your life, and just if you got any valuable piece of information that I would something from it too, if you want to share.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I'm glad. Thank you for letting your artists and letting me share. I want to give you like something good, but not something that is just on my mind and on my heart right now. I would say like this is something my dad used to say to me, and I used to question him about it because but in my own relationship with my dad. But he used to say that life is about choices.
Right.
And that is exactly the mantra of my life, because if you want to like, aside from entrepreneurship and all this other like worldly stuff, even music and stuff like that, but ultimately you choose how you want to live life. And I feel like, again, like in this social media age, and even in this pandemic, like people are still wearing masks, literally. Like people are still being ingenuine. People are still not telling the truth. People are still hurting each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And ultimately, you know, you think about like, why does this person do that? Maybe it was their upbringing. Maybe it's because they're going through something. Da 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 da. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, it is because they choose to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this guy a deadbeat dad? Because he chooses
Yeah.
to do that. You know, why is this mom like raising her kid a certain way and they're elevating a certain way? Because she's choosing to live life a certain way. And ultimately, what we really need to choose is the mindset that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Because that, and honestly, I'm not perfect. No one is perfect, you know, but that is what I try to tell myself every day. Like, it's really, really the mindset. And again, I go through my ups and downs. Like, literally, I've gone through like ups and downs even emotionally this year throughout this whole pandemic and stuff like that. You know, I was reaching a point where I was like gaining a lot more weight, and I was like, just like this past like spring, I would say. And I'm actually glad that the pandemic happened because I actually got time to sit with myself. And I feel like that is what people are stressing about right now. People could say, like, oh, it's because I got to teach my kids from home now. Oh, I got laid off from my job. Like, yeah, because now you have to sit with yourself, motherfucker.
And
Like, now
yeah,
you have to look at,
face.
now you have to live with yourself without your job, without your money, without this, and that, without your
Mhm.
hose or whatever it is, you
Without your
know? Like,
distractions and your vices.
yeah, exactly. Without
Yeah.
your distractions and vices, and now you have to sit with yourself. And for me, I'm still going through my process, and like processing happens, they say, in like circles, basically. Like, you can come to a realization and then like kind of lose it, I guess, and then you come
Mhm.
back to it again. So it always happens. But you know, this year I really feel like I've matured, and this year, I guess, the main, like, again, mantra is that I'm choosing to be me, and I'm choosing to do what I want to do. And
Right.
even though I can't be out performing every weekend, because I honestly got to a point where I started like thinking to myself, like, oh yeah, I need to be out here every weekend. Like, that's me now. Everyone knows me, that I got to be out there every weekend. But then I'm like, who the fuck am I trying to like impress? Like, again,
Right.
I love Hawaii hip hop. I love the people that I meet out here. Like, straight up, for real. Like, we have one of the most illest, most close knit communities. Like, for real. Like, in hip hop.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's just about choices, man. And you guys gotta choose. Like, again, like, we live in like a overthinking society. Like, how am I gonna post this so that it gets the most traction and most
Mhm.
this, and that? And I'm like people come to me for social, like, you've come to me for like social media questions and stuff
Yeah, yeah.
at different times. But even aside from that, like, it's just choosing. So
Yeah.
choose what you want to do. And
Oh,
every
especially
day
with
you make
music, because you're
choices.
very versed in that.
Yeah,
Yeah. You
yeah.
gotta get your name out there.
Yeah, man. So yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I
Just
totally agree.
choose.
Because like, like granted, I mean, I never truly fully 100% believed in that notion of you sometimes I don't have a choice. You always have a choice, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like granted,
Mhm.
you there's situations, or you're put in situations, or like you're just dealt a hand of cards that you
Mhm.
can't do
Mhm.
nothing about. And
Mhm.
of course, like there's, you go through things where, and you experience things, and you have to overcome things that you have no control over. But what you do have
Yeah.
control over is your attitude and how you react to it. Like you can't control
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
but you can, all
Yeah.
you have control over, which is all you need to have control over, is how you react to it, and
Mhm.
like your
Yeah.
mentality towards it. Like I'm not, like, if I was late to work, spilled coffee on my shirt, got punched at work, I
Mhm.
didn't plan all that. But like, is
Yeah. Yeah.
am I gonna let that, like, totally just ruin the rest of my day, if I had plans to
Mhm.
like have a productive day, or just have a good day in general, like
Yeah.
I totally back that and agree with that. Like you can't control what happens to you, but you can choose to, like, take it with a grain of salt, take it for what lesson you
Right.
can learn from it, and just think of it
Yeah.
differently, react to it accordingly, where it's not going to destroy you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I totally
Yeah.
agree with you. I totally agree.
For sure.
Before I let you go,
Yeah.
just let everybody know if you have any projects dropping soon, any songs coming out, or
Mhm.
anything on the rise, anything on the way. Let everybody know, and then I'll drop all your links down below later on.
For
Just let me,
sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I got you.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah, for
again
sure.
for having me,
Nah, no
Jordan.
problem. Hey, pleasure is mine. Pleasure is mine.
Shout, shouts out. I love this convo. I know we can probably have a part two, and
For
I'm gonna
sure.
bring you on my
Yeah,
live
guarantee.
stream, so we can continue this. But yeah, thank you
Guarantee.
for all your questions. And honestly, bro, I've done a lot of interviews, and this is probably one of the most genuine ones I've had, and like free flowing ones. So whatever you're doing, man, like keep it up. I like whatever you're doing that's working. Keep it up. I can tell that, you know, obviously from not only just us being colleagues and friends, and music peeps, but yeah, just keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate it.
Anyways, yeah, again, guys, my name is Jehzan Exclusive, Hawaii P9 artist, LGBTQ. I have a new album called Evil Summer that I dropped in July of this year, and it features basically songs that I've released and or created within the past year, like from the latter half of 2019 till like basically now. It features tracks on there. Check it out. It's 12 tracks. I also have a couple features on there. So shouts out Faya Empress Stone. She's on that project on my song H&L, or our song H&L. And I also got Punahele on my song Dynasty. And yeah, who else I want to shout out? Shout out Rucka the Magnificent, because he helped mix a couple of tracks on there, along with Bombs. Bombs, like real talk, Bombs is like one of my main like go-to engineers. So shout out Bombs.
Hey, me too. He's mixed numerous songs for me.
For sure. He's the first engineer who, like, I didn't really have to tell him much, and he already knew like what to do with my voice and stuff like that. So I really fuck with him. And yeah, shout out Bombs. Like, even another like shout out for independent artists. Like, Bombs is definitely up there for me too. So yeah, not even just in Hawaii hip hop, but
I did like a whole spiel on him when me and him talked.
Dude,
we always go back and forth on like through text or whatever, but then when we actually sat down and did it, because like and then I was so honored that he that song on his latest album that I'm on, I sent him that a while ago, so I didn't even know. I don't want to follow up and ask, you know what I'm saying? I was kind of just sitting waiting. I didn't know what he did with it, and then it turned out amazing. So shout out to him. He's like a big brother of Hawaii hip hop. Shout out to that guy.
He is. He really is. He really is, for real. Shout out Bombs. Yeah. So check out Evil Summer. I'm trying to just remember. Shout out the homie Kid.
Down there for sure.
Yeah. Shout out the homie Kid Bougie. He's my man in the Philippines, who I met in Davao, but he lives in Zamboanga in the Philippines right now. He did the cover art for Evil Summer, and he's done like numerous cover art for me. So shouts out him. I also got 2 new tracks that I released over my birthday weekend last month, Exclusive and All In. It's available on all music streaming platforms, SoundCloud, YouTube, everything. For sure. And then I do have a new song collab dropping with my homie YDP up in the Bay. We've done 2 EPs already together. We've done music videos together in the Bay Area. But this is our first like fall drop, I guess you can say. Yeah. So that one is called Ghost. Stay tuned for that. I'm really excited to drop that track on Halloween, or hopefully right before Halloween. But yeah, this month, nice. Check it out. Ghost. Yeah. And then yeah, like I was literally about to post earlier, but like yeah, more music on the way. Quarantine. I was just in the studio.
Again soon, man, for real.
Yeah, for sure. Let me know, man. You already know. I was just in the studio, so I got to shout out Astro Guillotine and Sub at Prima Phonics. I was just in the studio with them just last week. So we got some tracks coming, you know, on the way. And yeah, like I've been doing like some features here and there, and like I'm big on like doing remixes too. So, and like free verses and stuff. So again, like more content on social media come in for that. So I'm really grateful for this time that we get to create.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are always fun. I know. And like I've had Jehzan on like 2 of my songs, like an original.
Back to back.
Yeah, I had her on an original and a remix. So we're overdue for like a third.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Hey, Jehzan, I appreciate you doing this for sure. We'll run it back again. I'm so honored and thankful that you took the time to, because it was last minute, like, guys. Like I literally, I had plans and they didn't go through, so I hit her up. I was like, "Hey, you want to go right now?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure."
Man. So I'm all about that. Same. Yeah. Plus, like, I feel like sometimes you can plan something and then like life. I have like a very like sporadic kind of lifestyle. Like, of course, I try to keep it structured and stuff, but yeah, like you never know what's gonna happen. So I hate committing to something and then being like, I cannot. But yeah, I like this Hawaii shit where we can just be like, "Hey, you ready to go now?" Yeah.
Yeah, like instead of like hey, something didn't pan out in timely accordingly way. Would you might like? It's Can okay, shoot.
Yeah. Plus, I feel like this convo was even probably more genuine because it just happened literally just like this. So hey, shout out. I want to ask you before you go and you let me go. Like I know I read your post about why you named your podcast Imprecisely, and
Mhm.
like the homies that you know in all these different sectors in Hawaii and wherever else your network is. Like what really made you choose to, like, I guess, choose this platform of podcasting and interviewing?
For me, well, first of all, on a literal aspect, I
Mm-hmm.
watch a few. I keep up religiously and watch a few podcasts myself. Um,
Bet.
I've always watched Joe Rogan's podcast, not only because like I'm a big
Yeah.
MMA nerd and martial arts nerd,
Mm, mm,
but because of
mm,
like because he's like a Swiss Army knife too. He's had like Robert Downey
mm,
Jr., Kevin Hart, Wiz Khalifa,
mm, mm.
like Tulsi Gabbard. So like I've all
Yeah.
yeah, I've always watched his. I watch a bunch of MMA ones, and then just this year, I was kind of pissed at myself. I only found out this year like two of my favorite rappers, Ti and King Crooked, have their own. So I was like, yo, what the heck?
Yeah.
And then like Tim, and then I was like, yo, this is a. I've been getting. I've been. I caught myself like I was binging podcast episodes just from a bunch of different
Mm,
people, and then yeah, I don't know. I just kind of like I just sat down, thought about it. I guess it was something in the back of my mind that I always wanted to do, and then I was like, yo,
yeah.
I know so many talented people, so many dope people, so many amazing personalities from all
Yeah.
walks of life. Like I know
Yeah.
fighters, like professional fighters, art musicians, artists, youth pastors, bodybuilders,
Yes.
business owners. I know like for one, I just love to talk.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah, exactly.
it's like
Which is
and then,
one thing. Yeah.
yeah, and I have a lot of friends. And then secondly, like it's another platform for them to like because I do this for myself also because when I have a guest on,
Mhm.
like I'm genuinely interested in getting to know my homie more than I
Mhm.
already did. And then
Mhm.
secondly, like if especially if they do something or they own something, like they have a business or they're an artist or they have something to push out. If I can help in any way on a platform where they can just tell their story and share their
Yeah.
brand and let their name get out there a little bit, even if I help them get two more viewers or one more follow or
Right. Right.
one more visit to their food truck or whatever. You know, I'm all about that. I just wanted to like I feel like God made me like a people person and I know a lot
Mhm.
of people. So why not use this platform to like really connect with these people instead of just liking their stuff, saying reacting with one word, LOL. Like let's just sit down with these people and let's really like get them
Yeah.
a chance to get their story out there and their name out there and their product out there. So and just yeah, with quarantine, I just had a lot of time when I got
Yeah.
home
No,
like
I feel like
work,
that's really
school,
cool,
working
man.
out, and then boom. So yeah,
I love it. I love it.
yeah. And then once I did this, I know you do your on the daily hip hop ones to your live
Mhm.
stream. So I was like, oh, I gotta
Mhm.
get Jehzan on here. So I'm
Yeah,
glad we made
yeah,
it
yeah.
happen.
And again,
Like
yeah, we can.
just like you were saying, it was sporadic. We were trying to like set it up, and then it just happened. So it's
Yeah.
super organic, you know.
Yeah, that's always the best thing. Is like when we can actually be like, oh yeah, we're free. Yeah, okay, let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Hey
Oh man.
everybody,
Oh, I'm excited for you.
thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. You too. You too. Like I heard a couple tracks of your Evil Summer, and then everything will be below so people can check it
Thank
out.
you.
But
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I also, if I have a little
no,
bit
no,
more
go ahead.
time, I
Go
want
ahead.
to shout out my merch store. Peoples, please check out my merch store. It's on Teespring. Again, I'll send you the link for that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, you can get Jehzan exclusive merch. I have t-shirts, long sleeves, hoodies, iPhone cases for
Nice.
kids and adults. And
Masks.
I'm trying to work on, trying to work on new stuff too. Don't have masks yet, but I do have tote bags. I
That's so
know.
crazy. Like that's like for people who are like are artists or business owners, that's like the new merch, like
Yeah.
masks. That's so weird, yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
so crazy.
Um, yeah, so shout out my merch. If you guys want, I actually still like download, I still burn my own like CDs. So like if people want a
I
CD
still
from
do
me,
that too.
just hit me up. Yeah, for sure.
I got you.
Just hit me up. And then also I want to shout out artists. Like I haven't really been promoting like my music marketing services that much because I've been trying to use this quarantine time to kind of just hone in on myself, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah.
But I feel like I mean, I don't know when this whole thing is going to end, but I feel like things are going to start loosening up and things are going to come back to somewhat normal, if not like a new normal of like doing
Hmm.
business and stuff.
I think this is the
So,
new
if
normal right now.
anybody, yeah, if anybody has any questions, has new, yeah, exactly. Like if anyone has new questions or any help with like trying to plan how they should do their how they should put out their single or their merch or their project, like just hit me up. I'd be more than happy to help.
That's
So
so
follow me
awesome
on
that you
all
do that.
social media. Yeah, Jehzan Exclusive, OTD Hip Hop, Skylex Records, which is the indie label that me and my girlfriend are starting.
Hey.
Also, since I'm on here, because I actually just made this announcement yesterday, we are actually officially disbranding Third Eye Films, which was our like photography and videography. We're still going to be doing the services, so it's nothing is really changing except the pages are getting deleted. Because I feel like I just on our own thing, we don't want to do it on social media anymore.
Yeah.
So we might rebrand it in the future and stuff, but right now Third Eye Films is disbranding, but you can still hit us up for the same photography and videography services.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
Hey, she's a jack of all trades. She's Hawaii's female hip hop face.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jehzan, for doing this. I appreciate it so much. For real, it means a lot to me.
Thanks, man.
You guys stay
Yeah,
safe,
and then,
stay healthy, and sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
no, yeah, no. I was gonna just say after this, I can help you. I can help you with your paper if you need it.
Yeah, no, I got like a 12-page paper due. I don't know
Damn.
if it's tonight. No, but no, I'm
What
good.
class
I got like it's just for my senior paper, actually, my senior project.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm graduating
okay,
December. So
hey, man,
yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you. I was supposed to have grad a while ago, but we're here now, so that's all that matters.
Hey, man, get it. I appreciate. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Hey, it's cool that you're in college and getting your education and utilizing all these platforms, because you never know where the opportunities are gonna open, man. So
yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
no,
I'll have you I'll have you on too soon.
Let's get it. Thank you so much,
Thank
for
you.
I appreciate it. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, Jehzan, check her out.